The reasons behind pest attacks on your plants. Now, that's an understanding I think all of us really want to know, because in our gardens we get pests all over the place. So let's talk a deeper understanding, Andy.
Hey everybody, I'm not really here. I've been beaming down from my spaceship today on the other side of Mars. We're having a special party. So if I'm coming and going, it's because they haven't the technology down here for me to really do it properly.
And you're in an atmospheric river in California. Your power might go out. We might lose you totally.
Yeah, so if that disappears, then that means something happened.
Yeah.
But let me try to talk to I talk to you guys like family. So, and I usually skip all the other stuff about the obvious things that you should be doing in terms of the cultural things that you need to be doing. You know, taking care of your soil, making sure you have a proper structure in the soil for things to grow, providing the right amount of light for plants, providing the right amount of moisture for plants. You know, not growing the wrong kind of plants in the wrong time of a year. Not doing tomato in the wintertime and so on like that. So those are basic things that you know that you're going, and are you going to have to get under control anyway? That's hard enough to deal with. But my experience has been, that's because I've talked to a lot of people who say they have it's all together. I have all of it and still I get the bugs.
Yeah. And
so to me, it always comes down to, well, how are you testing yourself or your product, your plants for the trace minerals? Remember, there are 96 of them. And when you have a problem, it's not because you're missing any of the major ones. There's usually like 90 of them you can do. But the other 6 are the ones that you're going to be missing in. And there's a chain reaction in it too, because if you know you need calcium in order to be able for plants to absorb other types of minerals and so on. Certain things have to happen first. And so you had mentioned about what you have, the problem you're having, and you wanted a phosphorus, right?
Yeah.
Right. So again, these are things that in order for phosphorus to be available, certain other trace minerals have to be there also in order for that to be that process to happen. Otherwise, it simply just won't happen.
Or you can throw yourself out of balance even more with something else.
Right. So, because a lot of people say, well, I'm having a calcium deficiency. I went on about 5 pounds of calcium and I decided to add this much, for each plant, and I'm still having the problem. Hi, Diggity. How you doing, man? And so, I have, it's not unusual for people to come to me and says, what should I be using for this deficiency that I'm having? It's pretty cool that they understand they're having a deficiency, but they're looking for that one thing that they think, oh, just give them this and that solves my deficiency. So if you have phosphorus deficiency, just using phosphorus on the plant is not going to do it. It's not going to provide the phosphorus because there's some reason why your plant's not absorbing the phosphorus in the first place. More than likely, you already have phosphorus in your soil or your environment. It's just not being made available by the microbiology. So it could be any number of things. Like, for example, pH. So the pH level of your plants, right?
The pH level of my soil, because I'm in a soil system.
Right. So what's the pH?
Actually, I haven't tested it. I know that at the root zone, the microbiology will actually create the pH necessary for the biology that exists at that root zone. So, a general soil pH doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot if you have the microbiology in control of that soil system.
Right. So the pH of the biology would be what?
Well, it depends on if it's needing to have biology exist there that exists at a high pH or a low pH.
I'm talking about your biology, your problem with the phosphorus.
Oh, I don't. I don't know. To be honest with you, the biology is in control, and since I can't talk to them, it's pretty tough to tell me which root's which.
Right. So what I'm saying is that I've learned from experience that if the pH is off a little bit, it's always the biology. They're different biological entities, so to speak, microbes and stuff, survive only within a certain pH range. So
Correct.
it's not a very wide range. Usually you have a wide range so you can encompass more of the biology, more different types of biology within a wider range. Unfortunately, some of the biology that you need are the ones that handle these exotic varieties of trace minerals that you're missing in order for them to be
Correct.
more available. And so and if you were to study that more and more, you'll find that these biologies it's not there because the plants are not normally from an environment that has these type of biology in their system. So like your plants that you're growing, maybe where they're being normally come from may have the proper biology that breaks it down for them. More likely what happens, so they're genetically more adaptable in their country where they were grown, because the biology is there that normally will provide this type of trace mineral. Growing them in a different environment, i.e. in a container, for example, or some other thing is different than that means that you have to say, well, my biology in the container is radically different than the biology that plants normally grows in. You see, right? And you usually, believe it or not,
there's the flip side of that too, Andy. Was the seed that I got grown in a biological system that added the right biology into it, or was it grown in a system that lacked biology? And so that biology that's supposed to come with your seed wasn't there in the first place because of how that seed was produced.
Right. So you always, because we're human beings, we tend to have a multiple ways of screwing up.
That's an understatement.
That's just one way. So there are many different things we can do. If you recall, I talked about how to be able to determine if seeds are female or not. Well, we can screw that up so many different ways. You can have males, you can have hermaphrodites, all kinds of things other than the female. And you would have to have the perfect conditions to make that plant grow that way. It's depending with the biology. And if people are not even keying into biology, in other words, they're growing stuff and selling the seeds and plant, and they have no idea what biology they were growing in, they can't really duplicate that again, or you can't. So my experience has been that when I first grow something, vegetables or whatever it is, I try to imagine what country and what kind of environment and what kind of ecosystem they had, what was going on there. And that would tell me something, whether or not it's a tropical environment, or if it's a Mediterranean environment or a desert environment. What kind of biology would normally be, they genetically have been modified over the years with, as opposed to in our environment, we're growing them now, we're feeding them something that in a way they're not totally capable of getting it. So that comes down to how well you feed them. You're doing a water hydroponic system, right?
No, 100% soil and organic.
Right. Okay, so the hydroponics, at least you have a little bit more control over the nutrition and because the way the liquid is made, and if you do it right, you don't have to worry so much about the pH, even though hydroponics is not really the best way for the biology, right?
Well, it depends on what you use. Like we've got Super Nessa that we see in our chat quite often that is using tree sap. So he's doing a DWC or deep water culture system using tree sap as his feeding regimen. So it is possible to have a wide range of biology. And I think that's the only one I've really seen that is more biologically driven than salt driven. And that's what is really hard on the biology and knocks it back on a consistent basis when you feed.
Exactly right. So it's like really cool that every once in a while you get this human being that comes up with a system where everybody else was failing miserably. And it just shows that we can adapt, come up with a better and better system. But generally speaking, the hydroponics that I've been used to, the biology would take over. If you're not careful, next thing you know, you have everything's dying. It smells awful. Everything, right? So, but what comes down to again is those particular exotic trace minerals.
Yeah,
and they all have a really cool, weird name to them, and like chromium.
What I won't even try to pronounce. Okay.
Right. So I've given up on trying to even acknowledge what they are, other than the fact that I learned that once I get a wide range of a base, think of it as a pyramid. You know how they have the food eating, Hi, not stoned in 604. It's a stoned in. Wow, that name, Stoned in. Sounds like an English thing, right? Hi, I'm from Stoned in. So
Hey, Marty.
Oh, hey man, we're done with the show. We're already done, man. We're finished. Thanks for stopping by. It's been really great.
Oh yeah.
So did you know how they have the food pyramid?
Yeah.
This food and the rest of it. So if you look at in my opinion, the wider the foundation you have in terms of how you do your trace minerals, the wider the chances are you're going to get all those minerals that you need. So that's why I go out and I get 12 to 14 different sources of minerals.
Yeah.
Maybe 13 or 14 because I also count C90 as a source of minerals. I also count Willard water as another source of minerals. And these are normally not, they're what you would think of for minerals, but and then I also have another one which is for human beings, but it's such a good source of minerals. I also add that to my mixture of trace minerals. And of course I have the rock dust, and the different types of rock dust are rich in different minerals, and some are very deficient, while others have this richer in those minerals that they're deficient in. The idea is somehow get this amazing blend of them together, and you do the same thing with the biology. Hi, Stilly. Yeah, we're done with, sweetheart. You missed the best part of it. It's over with. So come back again next week, and maybe we can talk. Well,
that's why you mentioned at the beginning or before the show the soft rock phosphate, but there's azomite. There's so many different globally, and if you're getting something from a volcano, like say around Mount St. Helens, that's fresh stuff that's coming out. Do you think there's any difference in the freshness of the rock that you're using? I've never even thought of that. It just popped into my head.
It's not the freshness, it's the difference is how it was made. A volcano has a certain way of melting everything and doing stuff as opposed to a mountain that takes forever to be ground up into a dust, or various different types of even then those mountains, how were they made? Right, how they came into being, what were the forces that put all these stuff together, right? So the key here is to do what Mother Nature does. She never does anything one type, and so the biology is always a blend of
diversity. Can you say diversity?
Yeah,
it's exactly everything. Right. Yeah,
and so if you follow that, then you will naturally get a diversity of trace minerals. Yeah. Rather than say, okay, I got azomite. That's all I need. Yeah, right. Good luck with that. I will tell you right off the bat, 80, 90% you're going to miss 20, at least 20 of the trace minerals, if not more.
Yeah.
Okay, if not more. The sixth ones are so hard to get. You have to really look at the sources of how they're being made. And the secret is, volcanoes are a very good source. Volcanoes are a very good source of how it's made. And if you look at what part of the world a volcano comes from, that will give you a really good idea, because you can look at all the different materials that they're made in that area. You can say this is made of iron. So you can see like how it affects it. What's really cool is that, again, when a volcano erupts, it sends it out into the atmosphere, which goes around the world. Sprinkles it. So it's not like, but actually, not all minerals are alike. That's what's cool about it, because iron, copper, magnesium, all these are very different. They're all made differently. Gold is made differently. Silver is made differently. So they're all made differently, but yet they have a way of magically all ended up blending together in the right proportion. A lot of times when I get rock dust, I send it to a lab. They say, what did you do here? Did you mix this up? Yeah, Mother Nature mixed this up. At the tiniest amount, all these different trace minerals in there. Tiniest amount. And if you add too much, remember I told you the one guy took a pound of a bag of rock dust, put it in his raised bed, killed all the plants, and said, see, rock dust is toxic. Well, trace minerals becomes toxic. It's a T word. T is the same thing. Trace is it's a toxic, right? The T. See what I mean? It's got a big T, toxic. So it's trace minerals and toxic.
Trace minerals. Yeah.
Right. And so that is, and so I would not worry too much about trying to decide. It's a good idea to know the diseases and pests. Okay, it's a good idea.
Right.
It's a much better idea to know why you have the diseases and pests in the first place. Stay away from those conditions, and you won't have the diseases and pests in the first place. That's the key that you want to do. You want to work. You want to get it down so that you automatically know. Right. That's the way it works. Typically, going weak, unhealthy plants are attacked. The wolf goes after the sick sheep. Cinder tumors, haplobindus was all the same. They're not. They're made slightly. They're made differently. Micronized minerals is the best. Well, if he has a source of micronized minerals, I would say go for it, right? Because micronized is exactly it's already broken down for you, so that the biology can then absorb it faster and use it, because usually the biology has to break it down. Don't be a moron.
Yeah.
The ideal scenario for trace minerals is to provide the trace minerals teeny. So if you think you need, whatever you think you need, you want to do like 1/10 the amount on a regular basis. So if you think I need more calcium, more iron. First of all, I wouldn't be concentrating buying calcium, buying iron, buying magnesium, buying. No, don't do it that way. Always buy something that comes already blended by Mother Nature, not by human beings, but Mother Nature. And that comes down to rock dust. Rock dust happens to be one of the few things that's an incredible blend, right? It's an incredible blend of different sources of minerals.
Yeah.
And then if you get a couple of different sources of rock dust, you're going to get even better blend.
Mm-hmm.
See, I even bought this stuff called Fertrell, Fertrell. I ran across it I was in Florida. It comes from off the coast of New York. And basically they take rock dust, eggshells, a bunch of other different types of rock minerals, put them together,
Right.
green sand, and that is their product. It's a very good product if you don't have the time to buy all these things. And you'll find that alone, you're probably going to get 90 trace minerals in there. And even that, you're still going to be missing the 6 exotic. They're called exotic because the earth has a very unique way of making them, and they're not easily found. What's this? Outside there, that lousy bug is going to get your head.
Ladybug's going to eat your head. Yeah.
Ear, look. Oh, God, it's chewing me.
And then the power goes out. It's like, uh-oh.
I learned the hard way, because when I went to school, teachers would say, okay, and to say trace minerals and diseases in the same paragraph was like really weird, very unknown. What the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's more of a pest and diseases with pesticides and what chemicals to spray.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, and it still is that way. You go in the store and you say, I have this disease. They say, well, spray this stuff. Wear a mask and spray twice a year, you'll be fine. So it doesn't really solve the problem, because that thing guy's probably been buying that stuff for years, going back there and spraying it. It may temporarily deal with the scenario. It may make it look good, but the food itself that you're getting, it's coming down really hard. The food that you're getting, it's not only not good, but it also has traces of whatever pesticide chemicals you were using.
Yeah.
And that's a problem too. One of the things I tell people is the greater the pest, the greater the disease or the pest. The greater the stress, the greater the pest.
Yeah, and that's understandable, really.
So that's one of the keys too. So you can be feeding everything properly, have all the trace minerals you need, but if that plant's super stressed out, how does the plant get stressed out? Well, you either planted it in the wrong place, right? You're giving it too much water. You're giving it not enough water. You're feeding it the wrong kind of food. You're probably giving it some kind of high nitrogen fertilizer, which is really stressing the heck out of it. You're not playing the right kind of music to it, because Beethoven is not going to do it all the time. Little Grateful Dead will help,
Get some rock in there, man.
So there are many and you're trying also, for example, if you're trying to grow something out of season, right, you're not going to do well. So also, not only out of season, but you can grow something that's supposed to grow in another country, and you try to grow it in the wrong country, it's not going to do well either.
You find that a lot in Malibu.
Right, right. So there are lots of other conditions that can cause stress.
Yeah.
But usually, what works is the stress is caused by the lack of the minerals of the nutrition. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
bad enough that you get your nutritional deficiency, but with the trace mineral deficiency causes the nutritional deficiency because you could be eating all you want to of whatever you think you're eating, and the food does not have the trace minerals in there. So your body is putting on more and more work to process the food, and it's not getting. It's looking for the needle in the haystack. I don't see it here, guys. We don't have a needle. We can't finish the
There's
sewing.
no malignium. Where's the malignium?
Right, exactly right. Or cadmium, or the mercury, or the lead. A lot of these things that people think. Now, for example, lead's another story because lead, we're getting more lead than we need. We're getting lead in such a way that we don't know how to deal with it. It's not the same kind of lead you normally get in parts per billion. Now we're getting lead, and lead poisoning is a very common thing that's going on now. So we have tons of toxins in our system. So we're going, and these toxins basically are minerals that you have too many of.
Yeah.
Too many of these minerals becomes toxic in your system. Okay, from lead to copper to mercury, right? Remember mercury in your fish, right? All these kinds of mercury in your rice. So these are normally supposed to be trace elements, but they're not. And many reasons why they're not. Of course, the fertilizers, if they're based on using these chemicals, they're going to be an abundance of that particular chemical in the food, right? In whatever you're doing. But it's also that the chemical regimen, when it kills the biology, the things that normally process these chemicals are not there. So there you have an abundance of that particular chemical because nobody around to transmute it.
Yeah.
See, right?
Yeah.
Are we reading something over here?
I'm reading what Marshmallow or Marshall Artist put. Just be a moron very occasionally for sake of balance, and not enough on as well, and dance in the middle mostly. Less zero is the target.
And it's the sake of balance is a really cool way to do it. Because I tell people it's better to do a little bit. I follow the law of the little bit.
Yeah.
If you follow the law of the little bit on a regular basis, it's better than a lot ever so often.
Exactly, because a lot right away throws it out of balance. Your biology can't consume it.
There goes the stress.
That little bit, a little bit is a much better way of growing us and our biology and our plants.
And I think it's I like eating a little bit on a regular basis. Oh, somebody said don't panic, it's organic. Oh, disabled veteran 206. Hey man, I know a disabled veteran 206. I'm a disabled veteran too. I just originally got granted 80%. So let's see, my problem is I'm disappearing. See, when I go there and they tested me, I do the same thing right there without the screen. They said, what's wrong with you? You're fading in and fading out. And
I thought it was the ladybug eating your ear again.
No, the truth is I'm an alien from another planet, and my beam is wearing off, and I can't find my spaceship, and somebody took my gas bottle, my thermonuclear device is missing, and I don't know what's going on. I'm in deep.
But Andy, don't panic. It's organic.
Well, thank you guys. That's really cool. Don't panic. I guess he must be watching something.
He's actually will come on from your YouTube, Andy.
Oh, cool, great, man. I love that.
So he can't see our chat for on It's All About the Biology. So he's alone over on your channel right now.
Oh, poor guy. But we can see his chat, right?
Because I brought it up, and because we're in the back end of the StreamYard studio, we can see his chat. So Disabled Vet, welcome to be here, brother. Silly Lily will probably say hi in a minute. I'll bring that up because you won't see our chat on his end. So, but hey, glad to see you here.
I've been called Marshmallow since I was a kid. I got that nickname, so no worries. A lot of people read it that way. Marshmallow Artist.
Instead of Martial Artist,
yes,
Marshmallow, right? So yeah. Stay puff Marshmallow Man, okay?
So one of the things that I learned early on in my life about trace minerals came
Mhm.
from the Rudolf Steiner's Institute, the Biodynamic Institute, and
Yeah.
that has to do with using plants, understanding that a lot of plants are basically what they do is they bring minerals back up. So
Yeah.
you can use the minerals in your environment, the plants in your environment to supplement your minerals. That's one reason why you want to add that in your to your compost. So when you're making compost, you're using what's in your environment. And if your biology and your environment is half as functioning at all, you will have the trace minerals there. You just have to learn to use the plants, put the plants back in again. And that's very important too. I'll do that. What's going on? What did I miss? S'mores for
Oh
all?
no, no, s'mores for all. Yeah, we'll just bring the marshmallows and some cookies, and we'll just make s'mores. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I haven't had s'mores in about 80 years.
You're not 80 years old, you old bugger. You're only 75.
Yeah, well, 5 years before I came out, I had some s'mores. I was
Oh, on the other side with the
yeah,
aliens in the
yeah,
space.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
In
waiting in line.
Bangalore.
I was waiting in line. It was a problem with the gate. It took it five
Oh,
years.
okay,
They give
okay.
you s'mores while you're waiting in line. But
Nice, nice.
but listen, I learned from experience that the what Reiner was talking about,
Yeah,
and you'll find that if you learn about your plants, yeah, and that's one reason why I like using a refractometer because the refractometer kind of tells you if you're keying into your trace minerals as well. And you'll
yeah,
find most people have a really hard time understanding that there's 96 different trace minerals, and they're all trying to figure out which ones are the ones that we need. But your
hmm,
environment will pretty much tell you what's going on. So if you go to a place and the guy's growing some really cool tomatoes, right?
right.
And then you're having a hard time with tomatoes. I would venture to say that his environment, i.e., the soil, is very different than yours.
Yeah,
So one of the things that's really cool is like that's one reason why I like buying compost from other people whose gardens are doing really well because I'm getting
yeah,
their biology. That's
yeah.
what you're doing. You're getting the biology and you're replanting them in your on your property. And you're hoping that if you set up your environment better, because one of the things if you do a transplant, they may die because your conditions are so bad, right? You do have to pay attention to the conditions. So it's one of the things I would do. I said, what is it you're doing in your garden? It's so cool here, right? You want
Yeah.
to understand some of the conditions that he's doing, and you want to see how different it is from your conditions. So you
Hmm.
may find, for example, the guy makes compost. You don't make compost. I will go bingo. Learn how to make compost because compost is a very
Yeah.
important aspect of understanding trace minerals. It really,
Mhm.
really is. That's one of the key problems I have with my customers because you had one of these shows recently. Why it basically has to do is why do customers have to keep coming back when you can teach them to take care of itself? Something you don't have to come, they don't have to treat them again. Remember, it's one of the
Yes,
shows.
With Leighton Morrison and
Right.
was it Troy Hinkey or
I was
yeah, I think it
watching
was
it.
with Troy Hinkey and talking about how he can fix your soil so that he doesn't have to come back and be paid, so it's kind of a defeating job in that way, but he's helping the planet so much by adding that life back into the soil systems.
So what I've learned is that there's a reason, and I tell people this all the time, and I really would like them to be sustainable. I would like them to make this property healthier and healthier and healthier and healthier, so they wouldn't need me or anybody else to do anything other than what they're doing. That is the goal. But the reality of it is, unless you tree sap straight from the trees, the best is perfect. I know, man. I wish I could get the tree sap. I wouldn't push it too much because you don't want too many people sapping the trees out, right? If the trees start getting attacked and they all die, and then we're in deep trouble. But no, I agree with you, brother. That's really a very cool way to do things. People have to learn how to use the environment, the biology in their environment to make it even better. So that's what you're doing. The trees are coming from your environment, you're using the tree sap, and that is going to be in Palmaram from Mars. Oh, where's Palmaram? Palmaram. That's Canada?
No, I don't think so. I think it might be in Oregon. Um, yeah,
Well, I'm glad to hear there's lots of more and more stuff going on. So
Yes.
using the tree sap is from the trees that are in your environment, and it's a perfect thing to do. You just go out, find some good trees. I don't know if it's for every tree, but I'm sure the trees have sap. But all the trees you can get your sap, right?
Yeah.
And that's not too
It's
far
corrupted
away.
the data.
Yeah, he's getting he's getting a little closer to here. I mean, he lives over here, so he's going that way. His name, this will Gardner Low. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's my name. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
keep fading in and out, you
there.
know.
It is. Hey, everybody! I have this great, wonderful
I
truth.
can't wait till you get your new desk set up, Andy. You can get your camera set up so that this doesn't happen.
My new desk is set up. This is my new the camera set up.
Oh, are you not using a green screen?
No, I'm not using a green screen. The
Oh,
green
okay,
screen
that's
works.
why.
The green screen is worse than this
Oh,
thing.
is
Wasn't it
it?
last time? Because remember, it was making me all fuzzy, fuzzy. Now this is like psychedelic.
You need to be closer to your camera.
Well, I don't know how I could do that because I took her out to dinner and I said, hey, I care, but you want to go out with me? Hey, baby, what you doing, baby? What's going on? Talk to me. So she's not she's not
Yeah,
helping at all. She's not. Oh, now the phone wants to talk to me too. Everyone wants to talk. I'll try the green screen next time. I think it's
yeah, we
really
can
cool.
always try it, see if it's better.
So what I was trying to say is that if you know, when I started doing this, I would buy stuff from all different parts of the world, and it costs so
Yeah.
much. But realistically, what you want to do is you want to key into all the trace minerals you can get locally, as much as you can. Part of that is to actually get trace minerals from the plants that grow in your environment. You see it doing really good. So I would, you know, that's one reason why joining a garden club is cool, because you get to go to their property and you go, wow, look at this place. Hey, you make compost. I would like to get some of your compost. Right? You
Well,
want to
and
get
yeah,
some of that.
add some of it into yours.
Exactly. Well, you want to get some of that
Yeah.
compost and use it as a culture for your stuff. And I would even because you know one of the things you do, and you're a little crazy, and I love it. Thank you, Sally. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And I like that. That's what happens when you mix too much cinnamon oil and chili sauce for ant control, Andy. You just start
Yeah,
to swear it.
it really screws up my tummy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
Screws up their tummies too, I think, right?
it screws up my tummy. But so so in the Korean farming message, you know, you can take a little bit from one part of the property or another property and reinsert it back into another property, and that's one of the ideal things you can learn to start doing is if you go to somebody's farm and they're doing really well, you tell them I like to take some of your culture and bring it over to my place.
Yeah, a little bit of leaf litter from a really healthy soil system out on a nature hike, you know, that is enough to make a biological extraction and add it into your property.
So what I do is I would go to a store and buy these little they're like their baskets are made out of straw. They're weaved. So you can so if you find a property that's willing to let you do that, and I have a couple of places around town that I'm starting to have a relationship with. And look, I'll give you some of this if I can get some of your leaf and some of your property. And some of the places that I work at, it's doing really well. And now where I live, right here in my own little forest, it's a really good place that I'm going to start making cultures for that I can take to other. So what I do is I get this little basket and I filled it up with. So I have a whole bunch of rice.
Okay, so you're doing an IMO.
I beg your pardon.
Collecting the indigenous microorganisms.
Yeah. So I IMO and DMA all the time. So 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 what I do is I normally make the liquid from the rice. That's a separate thing. But I also learned to take the rice and take some of the soil and the leaf that's in that place, mix it together with the rice, wear gloves, put the little it's like a bag made out of rice, a little container that's made out of and it's woven together, and you put it down and you cover it, and you come back in a few days and you lift it up, you'll see that it's full of mycelium in there. You take that whole thing, you put the lid back on, you take that and you find a spot So ideally, you want to find a spot on your property, or if it's another person's property, because it's one of the things you can do for a living is actually bring in the people's property back, like I do, like Leighton does, helping their properties come back. But
Yeah.
even if you were to do that, you just can't take that and put it in a nice little spot and leave it alone. You have to pay attention to it. You have to help it to grow. You have to change the environment enough to where they won't die, because otherwise they will die. So that's the reason why they're dying off. It's either getting too much water, something's so the soil's so toxic. So you have to straighten that. Or
something's eating them, Andy. Something
right.
could be eating them too, you know.
What? Something could be eating them?
Well, yeah, you're bringing a biology into an environment that it's not already there. The biology that already exists there, they're either going to be a food source for that biology, so biostimulant, or they're going to mesh in with the biology. But there's going to be, it's all predator prey, man. Hey, that's biology. It's a jungle down there.
It's so what it is that it's only human beings that like to fight each other. You're going to find that a lot of times biologies will blend very, very readily. Biologies are very good at saying, yeah, the more the merrier. Everybody come on in, grab this. You'll find that it's not, because I've learned from experience, as I mentioned before many times, when I go to people's homes.
You're ringing. Uh-oh. It's your birthday. Somebody is phoning to sing a happy birthday to you, Andy. Oh no, that was last week.
No, I told you I was picked up by these alien ladies, and they want me to go back to the planet for another few years. I was the only male on this alien lady planet, so I escaped. Orange oil is pretty good. Orange. I learned so much from the early days YouTube videos using orange oil for your raised bed by using it on the bare wood frames. Yeah, man. The orange oil, it's actually a system now that is certified for termite control in people's homes, because they can treat the wood with the orange oil. It petrifies the wood to the point that no bug will attack it forever. The world will end. You have the house
no termites, nothing like that.
They say what?
No termites?
No, it's for termite. It's for termite.
Oh, it's specifically for termites.
Right. So when I first I've been using stuff for a long time. So this one company called Orange TKO, they make really cool orange oil. And I think they may be.
We used to use it out in our house all the time, Andy.
In Canada, they may be in Canada. I think no.
Yeah.
So it's Orange TKO. It's a really cool, pure, clean citrus oil, very concentrated. And because of that, you can use it to get rid of oils. You can get rid of when you're doing the wheels, when you're doing dust, all kinds of stuff. But if you take 1 tablespoon in a gallon of water, you can spray. In my youth, I was into spraying, so I would spray the ant trails, for example, around the house, or spray an area around. If I wanted to keep bugs or insects or rabbits or something from attacking the plant, I would basically spray around it, not the plant. They would have to go through that. And L-lanolene citrus L-lanolene is one of those toxic chemicals that comes from certain natural products, right? See what I mean? Like nicotine, not nicotine, but caffeine is another one. It's a toxic environment for most insects that they don't like. And same thing with garlic. And garlic, main thing that garlic is the sulfur. So the sulfur also affects the insects. So there are lots of really cool things that you can use. The orange TKO is a really nice way to, when I do raised beds and I didn't want to treat the wood, or I didn't want to pressure treat it or any chemicals, I would treat it with a citrus. Just straight with a brush, paint it, let it dry, wipe it off, paint it a little bit more. It soaks right in. If you look at the side view, you'll see it soaks right into the whole core of the wood. Right. Then it gets petrified. Literally, you can't burn it. You can't do anything. That's another thing you can do to protect your wood. But that's another story, because what I would do is burn the outside a little bit of it, so it's a little charcoal. But
it's an Oriental technique called shishugibon, burning the outside, and then
really?
And water repels water. Yeah,
I must have all these things just flow through me through the ancient. But you burn it, and then it just petrifies and nothing else. No bugs going to attack it.
Yeah.
It's actually very good for your plants. So, the orange TKO you can inject it, but ideally you can paint it, and so the problem now with the industry is that you can't 100% a guarantee that you're going to get the termites. So people who do non-chemicals also use a electrogun. It's electricity that you can sap the wood with, right? Sap it with it, and they also have heat. You can tent the house, heat it up, and the heat will get it. So for insurance purposes, you have to combine one or two of those together. They won't let you do one at all because they don't trust you. They want to make sure that the chemical, they're all gone.
Yeah.
And so, the orange TKO by itself does a wonderful job of, and it can be used a very small amount too. And you don't even need to buy the orange TKO. You're going to find that you can get oranges and use and make juice out of the rinds, or you can grind them up and make a juice, run it through a press. Even orange juice by itself has the same quality, but it's not to the extent that it's so strong. Yeah, you learn everything. It's just ask me whatever you want to learn. I tell people I don't do marital problems, but I have saved many, many marriages because they want to spray, they want to get rid of the bug. And so what we have to do is we have to what I feel I need to do more and more is to tell people, look, so you're like Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Green gobbler, orange oil. I've heard of that before. Just make sure it doesn't have any petroleum distillates in it, brother. They will have petroleum distillate in it. You do not want that. So in the back, you need to say 100% citrus oil. If it says petroleum distillates, back away very carefully and take it back to the stores. And I don't want that. Okay, I do not want. No, you don't want any petroleum distillate in it. Okay?
You can steam distill citrus peels to get the is it lanolin? Oh.
Citrus peel, L-lanolin.
Yeah, the lanolin out of it. And I know you can actually use a rotovap to distill it down even further depending on how pure that you want it. And that's the extraction side of some of the stuff I learned
one of the things
years ago.
I love doing essential. I can make my own essential oils. So that's what you do. You learn how to make more essential oils. And I was just talking to a lady just the other day. She said, I don't really like spraying any chemicals. And I was looking at her plants as well. You can make a tea from the basil. You can make a tea from the lettuce. That will work. The basil, if you make a tea out of it and spray, it works as easily on a variety of bugs. Same thing with a lot of herbs. So I bought 26 different seeds of medicinal herbs. Every single one of them can be turned into a tea that you can spray. So I have citronella plants. Make a tea out of it, not for drinking, but for spraying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for spraying. You can spray, and these teas are fantastic in how they work. Comfrey spray is a perfect one. Comfrey, for example, has high levels of calcium in it. It's a great source of calcium right off the bat. You make Comfrey is good for people, right? You get it because of the calcium. Your body goes, oh, yummy, yummy calcium. And you can make a Comfrey spray and spray it on the plants. And the plants
can I point something out, Andy?
No.
If you look at a book on medicinal plants and you grow those medicinal plants, okay, and you break that down and put it into a spray, and you spray all your property, all those medicinal plants Mother Nature put there to draw certain elements out of the soil to feed the soil. So then you're going to get all of those different elements that those plants were designed to pull up.
You're very smart, and that's exactly why the medicinal herbs work.
Exactly.
They work because they pull up a certain trace mineral or a variety of trace minerals.
Yeah.
And when you take that affects you as well as the plants and as well as the biology. It's only a benefit that they have a particular odor to them, a scent to them. And so that's why I like the citronella to use. But Comfrey, for example, is not just calcium. It's rich in iron, magnesium. It's got all kinds of other great nutrients in there, at least 30 or 40 trace minerals. And they all are brought up by the plant. But when you make a tea, you're concentrating, you're making it, it's coming out from the plant into your liquid.
Yeah.
And there's different ways you can make it to make it stronger and absorb more. But the point is that chamomile flowers, beautiful
Yeah.
little flowers you can make your tea out of, not for drinking, but for using it. And I can
Yeah.
think of almost any herb. And I saw a technique used by Cuban farmers for pest control. They use liquid smoke and water in their sprayers. Cool. Liquid smoke and water. Liquid smoke. What does that
Yeah.
mean? Liquid smoke and water.
Um,
Maybe the smoke is in the liquid. You
I think it's a chemical reaction, maybe when you're putting it in and it makes it smoky or foggy or something.
All
I'm
right,
not sure.
all right, disabled. You're gonna have to tell us what you're talking about here, boy.
Please.
Please, not come on, say it. You can type it up. What the heck are you talking about? Liquid smoke and water. Huh? So I think what you're talking about is you run smoke through a liquid. You run
Well, and Marty's saying it's a food seasoning that tastes like smoke or tastes like smoke flavor. Barbecue sauce.
It's not a food seasoning. Oh, liquid smoke. Maybe that's the name for a food seasoning. But
I'm
I've
not
never
sure.
really heard of liquid smoke before. But maybe it could be something that the process of smoke through the liquid and the liquid absorbs the smoke, and you could use that because that is a very unique way of making essential liquids to use as well. The only problem is you don't really smoke a lot of these medicinal herbs, right? You don't
And
make
it is the barbecue style liquid smoke.
Yeah,
So
that's what it is. Yeah. Liquid smoke is a barbecue, right? And you'll find that liquid smoke, just like anything else, is made from a variety of really hot super plants, like whether it's like I'm going to dye peppers, right? Or so whatever type of plants that and the liquid smoke, because when you take a little bit in your mouth, the smoke comes out, you go, oh my God, this is like super hot. And so but again, what I would do is be real careful when you're using that. Again, I go back to relying on experience. You guys, you really do not want to torture these insects. Trust me, you do not want to torture animals, insects, or otherwise. You really want to be as kind and gentle as you can. If you want to kill them right away. Kill them, without any torture, because these things are not, So here's liquid smoke. Okay, imagine taking something that literally burns your body up. You go, right?
Yeah.
That is torture. So one year I decided I'm going to teach the gophers a lesson, and I bought some cayenne pepper powder and I injected it into all the gopher tunnels. I said, that's going to get them. The poor gophers came up. They had cayenne pepper all over the hair, and their faces are getting distorted from the pain. They're in the cayenne pepper. And we're going to see you in hell. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I did that with chewing gum. I heard, okay, chewing gum is good for gophers. You see that the little guys got chewing gum and they're choking. I'm going, that is gross. I am not going to torture these poor little innocent creatures. I got so excited I disappeared. I can't. But you guys get the idea. Is that you really shouldn't be doing that. Doing that to animals. You really should try to be kind and gentle to them. I decided just to let you see what my real place looks like. I'm still
okay. Like everybody's got to do this one. Okay, seduce the insects. Like you talk to your gophers, get your gophers to not attack your plants.
So what about seducing the insects? So the way it works for me, when I see the gophers, like I'm having gophers coming to my property. Right in front of me, he ate the basil plant. I said, I didn't know you eat basil. I said, yeah, man, I like it's Irish. Yeah, I like it. I be liking the basil. I like Redcliffe basil. And I said, well, let's work something out because I'm not going to try to kick you out of here. But if you can eat and I can eat, we're good. So I tell the gophers, dig a hole over here, aerate over there. And my goal is to work together with the gophers. I got rabbits. I got to talk to the rabbits. Hey, dude. Okay, so I have so much food here, you can't eat it all. And I'll give you more food. I'm putting up, the birds are coming around. I said, you got any food? Yes. Here's some food. Here's some more food. I talked to the hawk. The hawk says, can I eat your cat? No, but I'm happy to give you more food. So I got dry food and put it out to the hawk. Oh, this is good. This is good. You're great. Keep giving us the food. We won't kill your cat. So it's a process. And you got four coyotes come around. Hey man, you got a cat. What is it with people and food? There's all the food you want. So I'm trying to work, even when so I put a lot of plants everywhere, and I'm not going to, don't walk on it, you're killing the plants. Well, I have to walk on the grass. No, you don't. So it's like, I tell them, you have to, when you walk on it, you want to walk barefooted. You want to acknowledge the fact that you're actually destroying some poor innocent little creature that I planted. And I told him, you have a right to live here. You come along, you step on him. Unconsciously, you kill him.
Yeah.
And to me, that's very, it's one thing to when you're walking, because I've learned from experience. And I keep talking about learning from experience because I'm really very old. Remember, I'm 250,000 years just in this past lifetime. But before, it was 250 million years old. I was ready to retire, and this dude come along. We need you for another 250 million years. I go, crap. Anyway, so it's earthing rocks, and it's really cool. Earthing is a technique of actually grounding your body. It's a science called earthing.
Oh, there's a lot of science behind earthing.
But all you really have to do is not only walk barefoot, but walk consciously. You have to understand that underneath, you can't breathe without killing microbes. You can't do anything without destruction.
Nope.
What you can do is say, okay, I apologize for crushing all you guys. I'm walking through here. I need a little path. And I didn't say that you all could live forever, but so we're going to do this together. We're going to have a garden where the critters are just as important as the non-critters. If I had nobody in my garden, I would be. Look, I went to a place once, and I'm looking at it. There's not a single ant, not a bird, nothing. I'm looking at that. My instinct says, turn around and run. Just run. Don't look back. Right? Don't look back. Just keep running. And I said, it's just so toxic that the ants are not going there, and no bugs, no creature, no bird. I don't want to be there either. So I did anyway. I went knocked on the door. The people were super sick. We're in trouble. Yes, you are. So their consciousness radiated out to the rest of the other property. And the earth is a really cool chiropractor. It really is true but you have to be willing to let the chiropractor massage your body. You have to listen to the chiropractor a little bit, because quit doing that. Maybe you should stop. So I'm really more of the chiropractor. The earth is more like the table you're lying on. You see that, right? And so I've learned that the best pest control is to stop using the word pets. They're not pests. They're not pests. And even diseases, we're giving them a name, making it sound like this diseases are bad. There's no such thing as bad diseases and good diseases. Only in our brains, in our acknowledging, and our way of dealing with things. Everything is equal in my eyes. Everything is equal. You know what I mean? So
everything has a purpose.
And the snails are supposed to be there. Everything is there for a reason. And I've learned that, hey, it's cool. Birds come and eat the snail. You want some? No, thank you. I already had. Animals come straight through. Hey, can we eat some of that? Sure, enjoy. And it's really cool. You don't have. What about weasels? So here in Malibu, people are saying, oh, look at all the rabbits. So at the same time, we've killed every bird. We've killed every hawk. We've killed everything that normally will go after these guys, right? Or even the mountain lions or whatever. Because if you want weasels, and weasels are allowed to be here, and you wanted to control, what would normally be controlling the weasels? Look at that and say, well, gee, the creatures that normally control the weasels are not here. We have killed everything off. Yeah, so you're going to find that we're causing such an imbalance that the creatures are going to go nuts. Whenever you have an infestation, like with ants, you have a soil problem.
Yeah.
Whenever you have an infestation, any one thing, whether it be a disease or even to me, there's no bad ants or good ants. But when you have an infestation, that's way too many ants. You have trillions and trillions of ants.
Yeah.
Right? And you say there's something wrong here. Goes right back down to the soil, or the lack of soil, or something else you want to call soil, but it's not soil. When we talk about soil, we talk about living, functioning, healthy soil.
Yeah.
And the key word would be functioning and healthy, see? And if it's living and functioning, then you find that the biology is so perfect. Insects and everything just mellows right down to a mellow rate. There's no infestation.
All in balance. And
that's called balance.
Eden.
That's called balance. Exactly. That's called balance. And so what was the title of the show? The Secret to Pest Control.
No, understanding the reasons behind pest attacks on your plants.
So we got down to the reason, and see, I'm timing it because I've noticed that a lot of people say, "I'm going to tell you the truth at the end of the show. You're going to watch all the way to the end of the show, and I will tell you the truth of what you need to know." So that's exactly what I've done. I took you to take you all the way almost to the end of the show, and the truth about pest control is what? Balance.
Mm-hmm. Balance of life and minerals and everything that's necessary to create that life and balance.
Exactly. Remember we said, friend of mine says, it doesn't matter what you eat, it's what you absorb.
That's right.
So in order for your body to be able to absorb, there has to be everything has to be functioning in a balanced way. Your hormones in your body, your microbes in your body, all have to be functioning in a certain way so they pass along everything you need. It happens perfectly. If it doesn't, then there's a stress out in one part of the system, which will affect the rest of it. Same thing with the soil, same thing with the earth. Right now, the earth is not that the earth is out of balance, it's that the creatures on the earth are out of balance. We are the creatures that are out of balance. The birds, the whales, the insects, they are not out of balance. They're trying to respond to this imbalance that we're causing. When I see an ant, when they answer an infestation, they're saying something's wrong, we got to fix it. And the only way they know how to fix it is get more ants. Mm-hmm. See, right? And the ants,
because they're there to do a job. We're not sure what the heck their job is, but Andy, we do actually have a question going back when we were talking about taking other substances from other people, making a liquid for spraying.
Yeah.
And Lucas wanted to know: do these sprays have to be aerated? Because Jadam, they teach different techniques. I've boiled them from Jadam technique, but could you just let it sit in a bucket? Okay, or should you aerate, to bring out more biology, to let the biology live? Because in a liquid, unless you're aerating, the biology that's aerobic can't exist there because there's no oxygen, and all you're getting is the anaerobic biology.
So what can I say to that? You just answered the question very perfectly.
Well, right? Yeah, but I was asking you the question. I shouldn't have answered
it. Sorry. You answered it perfectly. Yeah, aerate it. If you ever get a chance to aerate it. Definitely aerate it. You're going to get
now the other caveat.
What?
I'm going to add one other thing, Andy.
Oh no!
Using an air stone.
Yeah.
To get the micronized bubbles.
Yeah.
Throw the damn thing out, because if you've used it once, the biology is inside of that stone. Try to get that clean. Try to make it so it never has the bad biology.
I've never used that, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, I got rid of all my air stones. I just put a pipe in and just let the air bubble the size that it is.
I didn't know that, but it's also possible that if you don't clean it out, the biology is going to get messed up, especially if you're not really know how to use it. Operation Annihilation. Yeah. Ken and I do really well. I like Ken a lot because he balances out my craziness kind of thing,
Oh no, and we're both crazy, but we're crazy like foxes, Andy.
Yeah, man, you got it. And I have a wonderful. What are we going to do the next show? I actually know it here. I'm trying to actually be proficient and everything, but I think it's going to be unlocking
not proficient,
refractometer. Go ahead.
We're talking about the refractometer next week.
Yeah, unlocking the potential of the refractometer in your garden. So for next week, guys, I am going to be sharing a screen.
We lost your background, Andy.
Yeah, and without the background.
Oh no, it's reality, Andy.
Without the background, I can actually hold my refractometer and you can see it and everything. And then I'm going to be sharing some screens of it too. And we're going to go, I like to use that word dive a little deeper. Yeah. Because I'm going to be covering the refractometer really well. Bring your questions. Get yourself a refractometer so we can have it here to use. And any questions, feel free to ask me. And of course, we're going to be here forever, for the rest of our lives. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Well, we're basically at the end of the show, guys. So we'll say peace out. We'll see you next week talking about refractometers. Don't forget to jump onto Annie's .com address and sign up for his newsletter because
No,
great information.
not .com address, invisiblegardener.com. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's your .com address, brother.
Just in time, brother. Just in time. Take care, everybody. Bye now.
Bye, guys.
It's all about